gifts. No, seriously, I look at them and go, but they were just babies the other day.
I want my sister to stop going. We went to Gibson Saturday and she will make her love.
You managed to bring Gibson? It's a lot of people don't it. It's a lot of
Because my mommy is a color.
Oh, your mom is a
So
cook.
I actually go free.
I'm so jealous.
And my sister was asking him, "Oh, just get back something because he was said by that the only time you make a good afternoon.
Oh, God.
Street.
Here, how are you? I guess you come to investigate the whole in business. What you doing here? See, I couldn't even tell my mother properly because I hadn't investigated all in business. What you doing here? No. What you doing here? Question. The last time we saw each other, this was not the passage I would have said, yes, that's where you're going.
When was that?
6 million years ago. That's the point.
Every time you plan.
Oh, is that how that's working? So all the little great things in there has to take cleaning, that's what.
Welcome back.
How are you doing?
Alright.
Okay, so I'm seeing, that's Rosalie.
Hi. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. So where is St. Lucia? Jessica.
I didn't see anybody else.
Are they there? Jessica?
No. What they're calling you're signing me.
Signing in.
Professor,
Yeah? I'm not seeing.
good afternoon.
Speaking.
Yes, I want to send you my video, but I don't have your email.
You don't have my email?
No.
Okay. But, okay, Daley-Morris.
Should I send it on to the same address that sent me the
No.
Google files? Okay.
No, because you, I think my email is in that list. Daley-Morris.
Because the documents that I have, I don't seem to see your email on any of them.
It should be there.
I don't. Picture? No, I don't have it. Yeah, that's video.
Even the video that was sent out to you of the recording of the class last week, that was copied to me. So my email address is in there.
Okay, then let me check. Let me check.
Yeah, it's there because I got it as well.
Okay, I'll check.
It's blue and flashy.
Make sure you come back because I have the number, so I need someone to put on this phone. Thank you.
This is not the same password that I use to access.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
Yes.
No, ma'am, I'm not saying no work. No, we can get him to access.
St. Lucia here now, Western Campus.
Oh, yes, we're having you.
You're hearing. What about video? Can you see me?
Yes, you can. Please.
Okay. Is Dexter at the Western Campus there?
I beg your pardon?
No, I'm asking the Western Campus to say if they're not there.
Okay.
What me to this? Craig. Craig?
Teacher.
Shadian? Yes, ma'am. Can you explain what's happening there on the internet?
Yours is teacher session.
But it's a big problem to do this.
Work, done.
Is Tanika around?
Yes, miss.
I mean,
You need her?
or is Valentine?
Not Valentine, but Tanika is here.
Okay, so last week I was supposed to be dealing with network communication, and I had to go over a presentation that you should have done the week before cabling. You also had an activity that you were supposed to be doing with your peers, for those of you who had a peer. I'm going to take those presentations now. Still send me the videos, but I need for you to tell me your understanding of the lesson on cabling, and then we'll understand the network cables, and then we'll move on from there. So, did you decide among yourselves? And the group in the back presented before is just the peers that I want to hear from. So, do we have representative from each peer here? Oh, before I start, can I ask you, Lucia? I can't see you. I don't know why. Can I ask you if you have any students, new students in the room now today? Somebody who came, or a person who came for the first time today?
No, it's just Jessica and myself.
Okay. All right. And the Western campus is now here. Dexton is at class.
No, they're not.
Who was working with Dexton? Did you work together outside of class?
No, he was working on his people.
Alright, so I'll just ask, can you just give me the presentation now, class? Who is going to speak? Just indicate, and then we'll take you one at a time. Ready? Ready? Who's going to start?
Who wants to be first?
Okay.
Is that Rosalind?
Excuse me?
Okay, go ahead. Students can access to. Can you do that? Alright, so I can log in down there. Okay, I'm trying to get your files, the SVUS students, I'm trying to get your files transferred. You still don't have access to our building, right?
Still don't know access.
Alright, so, you can check in another hour, they should be there. I'm gonna have Penny transfer them.
The free hosting is not working, and then that hosting can afford more than 2.2.
We'll figure that out later. Like no kind of okay, well, the money.
Yeah, one month. Yeah. No, man. I think she alright. I told you. Unit 1 hour, 6 unit 4 for 6. Another 1 unit you want to go 1 module. One module, right? For example, one of the modules, one of the modules is on one of the modules is on programming.
This is my phone trying to So wait, I think it's because I had it downloaded before, but I'm not sure if it's the entire file that I tried to move it. So should I delete that file that I tried to move it?
Sure.
We never say soca. Oswald. It would it be possible for you to take 3 of the classes? Because it kind of hard to become a time. Can you take 3 classes?
That was one day. Alright.
If you mind me get them already, if you want to scan them, we're going to class this. Yes, I get it. Yeah, you understand me?
I'm going to try and arrange it for that.
And take 3 classes.
Which one should I take?
Take 2 practical classes.
Yeah, I know.
And then may I see how much it has.
Maybe I didn't catch that. Maybe I didn't catch that.
We met our gas from you. Go to time mileage from you.
I'm going to arrange it for that. Can tell you tomorrow. I'm going to arrange it.
Also, I want to find out from you, have you been doing an innovation? You know, you know, your assignment is the course. You're supposed to have initiated an innovation. Because I don't tell you what I just found.
Trying to do it. Or have you wedged it?
Okay.
That we come in to see you, yeah, come for the classes you are going to have to see you teaching. Read.
Alright.
Are you supposed to, you didn't go to the seminars? You never got to the seminar?
You got 7 minutes. Where is it showing? Where is the car, man? Where is the car right there, class? Just you hear what she got last time was? Which part of the assignment? You want to what's some innovation? Yes.
Yes.
Is it in this course? Assignment that you're talking about?
No. They have nothing to do with my course. This is a course that you're doing with Dr. McCallum. Or Dr. Mondo, whichever one, I don't know. But I know that when you finish the study, I'm going to mark it. That's all I know. The practicum and the study, yes. That's different. You never have to register for the practicum. So go in at the code for the practicum and go in at the code for the study and should see what you're supposed to be doing.
Okay. Roslyn, you said you would begin? Roslyn?
Yes, Miss. Okay, I'm just going to read some of what I have. Basically, I mean, it's all highlighted already in the document. Basically, the document is revealing that there are 4 types of cables. Which are the unshielded. Excuse me?
We're getting a feedback. Can you ask your technician why?
Okay, I have to go and get him on the outside.
Ask the other side to turn off your microphones first.
Can I ask St. Lucia and the Western Campus to turn off their microphones?
Dr. Daley?
Are you ready? Yes.
Can
go
you
ahead,
hear me?
Rosie. Yes, better.
Okay. Yes, I was saying that going through the document, I see that there are 4 types of cables, which are the unshielded twisted pair, the shielded twisted pair, the coaxial cable, and the fiber optic cables. And from reading through, I noticed that both the unshielded twisted pair and the shielded twisted pair, they are similar, except that the shielded twisted pair has braided metal shielded surrounding it. Before I continue, am I seeing my partner there? Courtney?
Hello.
Is that Courtney there? Oh, okay, hi. Okay, so you feel free to come in feel free to interject. Okay, Courtney?
You didn't find so far.
All right, good. So, yes, I was saying the shielded pair and the unshielded twisted pair, they are similar. And, well, today I had the privilege of playing around again with the unshielded twisted pair cable. So so if you continue coaxial cable, there is another type of cable, the coaxial cable. It is a type of cable that consists of central copper conductor wrapped in a plastic insulation material, which is surrounded by a braided wire shield and wrapped in plastic cable sheet. On the other hand, the fiber optic cable, it is a type of cable which uses a glass strand and carries the data signals as light instead of electricity. So, I would like Courtney maybe to come in to do some more or maybe elaborate, seeing that we've been working together.
Right, go ahead.
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, as Rosalyn
Maybe you
said
can
so
touch
far,
on the characteristics. The characteristics.
Well, yeah.
Yes.
So as Rosalyn has said so far, we already know what the 4 types of cables are. I'll just basically touch on some of the coaxial is broken out into 2 different types. You have the thick and thin coaxial. Both have their distinct advantage in that the thick coaxial can carry signals up, well, the length of the cable up to 500 meters. And then afterwards, if you want to extend the range of that, you will have to use like repeaters, which could get it up to anywhere between 2,500 meters and above. The disadvantage with the thick coaxial is that it pretty much is very thick, and so it's difficult to bend, and so usually you would not use it internally. Preferably it would be used like for main backbone network architecture, while the thin coaxial is easier to be bended. Its limitation, I believe, is about 185 meters in terms of the length before you can put things on it. I also read that how they worked is that they use external connectors, unlike the twisted pair cable that pretty much uses end connections and goes within a hub. They are spaced approximately 2.5 meters apart with markings on it, and this shows how where you can connect each connectors to for additional nodes to be placed on the network. The coaxial cables generally used in applications where you have well, baseband network, and it was pretty much the first type of network cabling that was there. The other part of fiber is that, as she said earlier, it is used in either glass or plastic, and it can carry signal strength further than any of the other cables that are there, and it has the potential to go in gigabits of data transmission. I don't want to go any further, so I'll just stop.
All right, so that was a lot of input from your group. Yes, so a very good overview of cabling. I like the fact that you went into the distance and that the cable can run. Certainly you're realizing that there's a limitation to in terms of distance based on the thickness of the cable. And so that was a very good overview, good start. Anything to add from the other groups?
Sure. Fiber optic cables are very expensive, So even though you can use them for far distances, you have to keep that in mind. When we say very fast transmission, we mean up to 2 miles at 100 Mbps.
Okay, what does that mean in normal language?
Right, exactly. Megabits per second.
Megabits per second, yes.
We also learned that coaxial cable is typically used for cable TV and CCTV, closed circuit cameras, and that for both twisted pair cables you use the same 4 colors. That's when we started to get into creating it. The 4 colors
How
are...
is a coaxial cable different from the computer cable, like the twisted pair and so on?
Well, it's different in thickness. It's also different in that all coaxial cables have a shield, an aluminium braid on the outside, and
aluminum braid?
What's the word I want to say?
The wire shape.
I think the major difference, I'm not sure if that is so. I think the major difference is that it's one single coil that runs through it. So it's a single copper wire that transmits the data through that cable.
Right, it's a braided wire shield.
Right, braided, right.
And it has a single conductor.
Single conductor,
right,
correct.
Which is made of copper. Yeah, we went through the presentation. We're looking at the makeup. So for each of them, we got a cut away of what it looks like on the inside. Twisted pair, as the name suggests, you have wires that are covered in a simple plastic and they're twisted together.
Right.
For the coaxial cable, you have that central conductor, and for the fiber optic, you have multiple fibers, glass fibers, and those are grouped together. And then we pretty much went into creating the twisted pair cables.
Right, right. So how to do it, and which was the practical. So basically, you now have a sense of, based on the lessons that went before, what is the basics of networking, the fact that there are different topologies that you apply when you are setting up a network depending on what you're trying to achieve. Let us keep it local though in your schools when you leave here, or well, some of you are in schools. In schools, one of the things that we encourage schools to do is to set up a local area network. Now there was a time when local area networks were not in schools, because there was no real wide area network to connect to, right? Also, networking was not as popular. But in the 21st century, you can't exist without networks. And there are various types of networks, as you now know, and it continues to expand and grow and so on. But in a school setting, the basic thing that you need to ensure that will exist is a local area network. So let us focus on that. Every device that is placed on the local area network is called a node. It's a node on the network, it's a resource. And so within the school setting, you set up the network to be able to share resources. What resources do you think you would need to learn how to share over the school's network? Can we have a discussion on that?
Printers.
A printer, how will that work, Richard? Remember that we have your classes in St. Lucia, Western Campus, and Dominica as well. So as you speak, you have to project your voice a bit more.
All right. The share resources, like we call it, expensive resources on the network. So printer would be one. File storage would be another.
Are you hearing Jessica? Roslyn?
Yes, we're hearing.
Oh,
I'm hearing, but a little bit.
It's not loud enough. All right.
So you share expensive resources on the network, like printers and storage, to store your files. Hear now?
What about application?
Yes,
software?
yes, I hear.
What about software? If you have a school LAN, what do you do? Should you install the application on all the machines individually?
No.
All right. So what's the alternative to installing applications on every single machine in your lab? What's the alternative?
You get a license for multiple machines and you install it that.
What is that called?
Piracy.
You need a server.
There was a
That's
separated
a
Richard, a
license.
multi-user license, and then what do you do?
You have some form of server. That will.
So you have to establish a server, right? You need a server, a machine that's going to function as the main machine, which is the server that is going to be
client server,
client server, disseminating that all the stations will access the application from. All right. So you have to make sure that within your labs you not only have nodes, but you have to have on your network a server. Now, in many schools, they don't really have that, right? I see Allsworth looking and it's done?
Yeah.
They're all the files? All right, just an announcement for the SBUS students. If you should check the folder, the presentation that I'm about to share with you today, 2 of them, they are now there. So you can go to the Google folder and access them when the time comes. All right, so we are trying as best as we can to put all the files in up to the point where you or until you gain access to the RBLE system. All right.
Excuse me.
Yes.
Did you receive my mail? The mail I just sent you?
I remember I'm teaching, so I wouldn't be checking my mail.
Oh.
You have to tell me you sent it. All right, I will check it in a minute. As soon as I have something in space, I'll check it. Okay.
Okay.
We all have to learn how to operate in this environment. Because I am presenting, I can't check mail, but I will check it eventually. All right. Right. Okay. So we're talking about the school land. Can I ask you to share with us? Jessica, Roslyn, and who else is in the room now? Dana, is it Dana? Jessica?
Yes, it's Dana.
Who is with you?
Dana.
Dana. Can you tell me about your school's lab? What is it like? How is it set up?
That's Jessica. We do have a server room. We have a number, we have approximately 3 labs. We do have a server room and all the computers are connected. Actually, each student has their own username and password to log into the system where they have their own drives where they can save their information. Okay, that's Dana. It is the same at our school. This is how they set it up. I guess in St. Lucia, where you're connected to the server and everybody have their personal username and password to log on.
Okay. All right. So you basically, so do you have an administrator that manages your network?
Yes, we do.
Okay. How do you relate to the administrator? What would be your instructions to the network administrator regarding your classes?
In terms of?
In terms of your needs, what the students should be able to access, because you're saying that they each have their individual login. When they log in, are they able to access all the resources on the network, or do they have specific permissions that they use to access resources
Oh
on
yes,
the network?
you do have to give them permission to access certain things on the computer. For example, internet access, you have to give them access for that.
Okay, good. All right, Dominica, Roslyn, how is it in Dominica, in your school?
All right. Well, it's similar to what Jessica and my other colleague explained. My school is not as high tech as maybe some other schools, but what I know we have, basically, we have a router in the staff room that every teacher can access the internet, but we have to have our own computer. So who doesn't have a computer? I'm sorry. So we access the internet on our phones and on our computer. We do have a computer lab where some of our students learn IT, and in that lab, well, again, there's another router there, and a number of computers in the room, and the students are able to log on to the internet. That is only only during instruction time. But that's what we have basically.
All right, so let's hear from Courtney.
Me?
What's your school like?
Well, I don't have a school here.
Don't have a school. Halsworth. Always Halsworth.
Okay. The lab basically have features of land. But
Features of land.
yeah, but how
Listen carefully
yeah,
to this one.
features of land. In
I saw that on your face while I was talking, and so I had to go to you.
Yeah, in that how do I observe this feature of land? It's just basically for sharing the internet.
So, and I'm hearing that also in the other side. So the biggest concern you have in the school setting is the internet.
The internet.
Right. So what about applications? You install them directly to the machines?
Yes, because basically, though there's one password, all students log on with the same password, and basically once they log on, they are only able to access things locally. So whatever
they don't
they
use any LAN services.
right. So I'm saying that the only feature of LAN that I observe is just for the network. I mean the internet.
Right. So do you understand that in schools you are really wasting resources? Because there's a reason why I'm asking this line of question. Because since last year, we started pushing a different approach to teaching in labs. And so what we're saying is, what we found was that students have been suffering from you just using PowerPoint presentations to push information at them. Instead of actually interacting with them as they use these applications, you basically put up PowerPoint presentations and you keep it very theoretical. So let us say, one of the concepts that I want you to leave this course, teaching in a network environment or networks in education, understanding, is that the network in education is important, and so the way you approach teaching on that network should be different. So what we have been pushing now in the last year or two, and you'll see a new emergence of what we call shareware, share software. Software that will allow you to share your screens to students. So let us say, for example, you're starting a new topic in IT. You're teaching about, let us say, you're doing programming and you're looking at the syntax of a language. Let us say that. And you need to be able to share your screen to the students so that you gain their focus. We all complain about teaching. I'm seeing that even right now I'm teaching and persons are doing all kinds of things on their machines. If I had the ability to share my content, then they would have no other, they wouldn't be able to be doing their own thing. They would be focused on what I want them to focus on the machine. So one of the things we need to explore are ways that we can ensure that students are fully engaged when we're teaching, and using a shared product is an important tool. Valentine is not here yet, but he's located one. Keval, where's Keval? Later on I'm going to ask Keval to come in because he located a share screen software that was free. And they experimented with it, huh?
Many of them.
Many of them, but so using that is also important to gaining the attention of your class and keeping it. I mentioned Keval because Keval on his practicum did that. He studied the use of shareware. in his teaching and learning process. Also, Valentine, I think, did the same thing. I actually sat in both classes, and I saw where my convictions became stronger, because what they were able to do with the students as a result of using this tool was just fascinating. I sat next to a student while Kevin was teaching, and what he did was he actually took over the screens of all the students, and the student literally jumped back when she saw the screen popping up, and then she followed the lesson, and then she turned to me and she said, "Miss, I've never had this experience before." And you know, it was because how many times do we sit in the back of the room and check to see if the students can actually see what's on the screen? They can't. Many times they can't see what we're projecting on the screen, or they're not able to follow what we're doing because we don't give them good examples. As we are working on the board and they're following along, they follow at different rates and pace. And so we will lose them. We lose them at times. The addition of a share screen to your server and the ability of a teacher to actually bring up a student's screen and see what he or she is doing, it's powerful. And LANs allow us to do that. So I'm going to encourage you to look at LANs, the possibilities that LANs provide the teacher using a local area network. And I don't mean a pseudo one like you described, Halter. You don't have a LAN. You don't have a LAN. If you have to go around and install software on every machine, you don't have a LAN. You have a peer-to-peer system. Alright? Or not even peer-to-peer, you have a standalone system. You really need to have a server that you put all your resources on, and then you share it out to the terminals.
No, but it's still connected to a LAN, you're just not sharing resources on it.
Yes, I know it is. But he's not using a LAN. He's not using, the purpose of a LAN is to share resources.
So when sharing the internet, that's a resource.
That's what that.
They probably share a printer or something.
They don't. You could just get a router for that. Why you need a LAN if you're going to just share the internet? Why do you need a LAN, students? Dana, Jessica, Roslyn. Why would you need a LAN in your lab if you're just going to be sharing the internet?
That's the cheapest way.
That's the cheapest way to share the internet.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
Get some wireless router, that would be cheaper.
Wireless router would be cheaper.
Get a wireless router, you need a wireless card in every machine, which is cheap, more expensive than a network card that comes standard.
Alright, yeah. We're not talking about cheaper now. You have a LAN there with a server that is powerful. It can share resources across. Yeah? It just means that instead of buying standalone, but I know why it happens in Jamaica. I don't know, I will ask the other countries if it's the same reason. Most of our schools, believe it or not, are pirating software. They're pirating software, and so they don't get, they don't purchase like, and that's your fault, by the way. When you are purchasing applications for your schools, you must purchase license, not standalone.
We don't have that kind of purchasing power. We don't have that kind of purchasing power.
But you recommend it.
No,
you recommend it.
It's ignored. You come to school and find something brand new. Principal, so that's what you use. You
mean the standalone version?
Anything, all of the above.
Alright, you have a responsibility as professionals within this field to ensure that the schools are not pirating software. And so when you recommend, if you have a 50 station lab, you need a license for 50 stations. That's what you need.
But just another thing is that same issue of the rigidity of a syllabus. Meaning there are many things you can use that are free, that don't require you to pay for any license that you can implement. But it won't be Windows. It might be something totally different.
Yes.
And nobody is going to do that because nobody wants what is mainstream or what you're going to book in the workplace when there are a whole bunch of things.
But I blame you too. I blame you for that because you prefer to become a pirate than to experiment with other products.
No, we experiment, but we don't have the purchasing power. Telling you this, you go to school and something totally new and you say, where this come from? Who asked me the question? I have a whole list of things and they go, yeah. That's what you're using.
Alright, so what's the case in St. Lucia? Do you have a license, do you purchase user license for your lab? Or do you just get one standalone and then pirate it?
No, we try to get multiple user licenses. I think before we used to pirate the software, but we're trying to move away from this and get the multiple
user license, right?
Yeah.
Okay, Roslyn, I know you're not in the IT classroom really, but you must have some insight. What's the case there? Roslyn? Did I lose her? Is Roslyn still there? I lost her? Alright, I guess she will come back. Alright, so basically, so in addition to so you have a server, you need to have a server that is dedicated to resource sharing. And when you become more sophisticated, you may want to have two servers, one that deals with print, like a print server, different from the one that will be housing your resources. And then you are able to set up what we call redundancy. Do you understand the concept of redundancy? What's it, Courtney? Redundancy. Why do we need redundancy?
Well, pretty much as it says, it's a means of providing a backup in the case of something goes wrong.
And you're losing your whole network, then you know you have a backup somewhere. And in the case of the print server, why is a print server, a separate print server, important on a network, on your LAN? Not hearing from you guys. Dana, why is a print server? Do you have a print server in your setup, Dana?
Money.
Why is it important?
So the students would have access.
Huh?
So the students would have access to the printing when they do their work.
Can you repeat that, Dana?
Okay. I was saying that the students would have access when they to their schoolwork, they could print, and it also saves money.
It saves money because you're sharing one printer, yes? But
yes.
It also speeds up the network if you have a print server that is dedicated to managing printing, especially if you have a large lab, yeah? And sometimes labs don't only the resources from the lab. You may have other machines within the school sharing the printer, yeah? As well, or with the capability to access the printer. So you may want to have a dedicated, most schools don't do it though, they use a server for everything, right? But if you have two servers, it is good to have one that is dedicated to printing, and then you set up that up as your backup server to create the redundancy that you need. In case there is any kind of mishap with one server, you have a backup of the operations and the application and so on another. Alright, so those are just some concepts. Alright, so one of the things I want you to leave here understanding too is that every network must have an infrastructure, and the infrastructure is usually wired, right? So there's a wired infrastructure that you can't get away from. For example, in order to get the nodes within your lab, the places where you actually put your patch cable in to connect your computers, you have to have wires running, right? You have to have wires. You cannot do without the wired infrastructure. But where possible, a lot of persons now are doing what we call a hybrid network, where it has some wired, the basic wired connections, and then it has also on it wireless. Why do you think we need to consider introducing wireless technology in schools? What's the value of doing that? Or should we be advocating for wireless technology in schools?
Yes. So there's a cheaper way to increase accessibility.
You have to remember, this is Mona is not it, you know. Remember, we have students in St. Lucia, Dominica, and Western Campus. Can you repeat for me, Richard?
It's a cheaper way to
provide access.
Right, a cheaper way to provide access.
Cheaper access, right?
Yeah.
Do you agree, guys?
It covers a bigger range.
Yes, we do.
All right, so
Let me just add.
Please add.
Let me just add to what Richard was saying. It's a cheaper way, and right now in St. Lucia, what the Ministry of Education has embarked in is giving secondary school children a laptop. So they have, we have now wireless throughout the school so that students could access the internet to do projects, SBAs, and assignments at different locations, not just the lab, but anywhere in the school.
Yeah, any other input? Yes.
I was going to say to encourage different types of computing at our school, St. Andrew. We've embarked on a BYOD project for about 2 years now. So
what does
students
BYOD mean?
bring your own device, so that students are not just computing with desktops. They don't equate school with desktops only. Those who have laptops bring their laptops. Those who have smartphones use their smartphones. Those who have tablets use their tablets, and they're accustomed to seeing teachers using those different modes as well.
All right, good. So we understand that the whole world of networks in education has changed. So in addition to the standard LAN, which is wired, we now have places adding to the dimension wireless access. Now, I'm setting you up for something, I'm going through this for a reason. You sense it, right? Okay. So now you understand that the culture of networking in schools, what it is like. All right. Let me ask you this question. You are very good at observing what happens with LANs, physical equipment, and so on. What has been your role in all of this in terms of content and content sharing? How have you utilized these facilities? So the infrastructure is going in place. They are now in place. What has been your role as the teacher? What have you done? What do you own that you provide access? What do you own to provide access to students? How do you teach in relationship to how things have changed? Share your stories. I mean, I want to hear you tell me that you are doing what you're doing with respect to the network.
Once upon a time, I would be at home 2-3 nights before working on the handout, have to take the physical paper to go get copied so that everybody has one. Over time, the department set up their own website, and we put some information there. Now with more devices, we're able to say to students, go to this particular location, look at this particular video, and then we're going to have class after. Or have class online, where we make it a point of not being in the room. We move a little further down. Usually it's for the older students, or for a section of the class, we say, okay, we are communicating online about what we just read, what we just discussed. So we're incorporating all these different avenues.
Good. So anybody else, what have you been doing in order to utilize this network that is now in your classroom? Anything from Dominica? Roslyn?
I'm not hearing you clearly, Miss.
You're not hearing me? Okay, so I know that there is the network, the computer network is a part of schools now. So access is not just wired in a computer lab, but many schools have moved towards wireless and making accessible to greater access, making more persons, teachers and students, have greater access to networks and the resources on a network. I'm saying, what have you done? How have you used this privilege that is now available to you?
I didn't hear that last question clearly. What have I done with?
How have you used the privilege of educational networks being available in your school? You have a computer network in your school. It is not only a wired network, meaning you don't only have a computer lab, but you also have wireless access. So it means that when you're teaching, you can't now say, oh, I can't use the internet because my students won't have access. Oh, I can't use this resource because there's no wireless access that extends across the school compound. How have you been taking advantage of this development?
Okay. I'm going to tell you what I heard. Are you asking me how have I been taking advantage of the wireless services at my school? Is that what you're asking?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, actually, I am very happy for that. First of all, sometimes I take my computer to the classroom. You know, although the wireless, it's not, I'm not able to get the wireless in every classroom because there's wireless only in the staff room and in the computer lab. When you're on the ground, it's not easy to get access to the internet. So what I've done, sometimes I take my computer to the classroom and I try to access certain websites. So this is, you know, very good for me, although I cannot always do that because sometimes I do not get the service. However, the Ministry of Education, they have embarked on a, you know, on a system. They call it the education system, EMIS, where all teachers around the island, all teachers are able to put in their grades online, also to take attendance online. And this in itself, I'm very thankful for because we no longer have to calculate our grades manually. You know, once we put in the grades, then everything is calculated automatically for us. Even our report cards at the moment, we no longer give the students a report book. Before we used to give them a report book where we would manually enter their grades, comments, and all that. But right now, because of the system, we do all that online. And so at the end of a term, the technicians, they would print out, you know, the reports of every child. And this is very easy. I like it. And I would really like my school, as a teacher, I would really like to get to know more about networking so I can set up my own learning environment where my students can do their homework.
Right, it did. Thanks, Roslyn. So basically what I'm hearing, I don't know if you heard the same thing, that what you're doing is you're relying on the central administration to provide systems that you access over the network. You have not yet taken responsibility for placing content that students can access through sites that you own. This course is basically going to change that, right? And you realize that's where we're heading. So not only should you fit into in line with what is required of you from ministries, but you yourselves as teachers, as things get easier, you should find other ways of functioning. So the network is now available in your schools, and so you should be using it to advance your job in terms of to become more efficient and to ensure that learning takes place with students. That's one of the things that we will touch on as the practicals develop. Today we're going to be uploading our files and getting such an environment established. But before we do that, I have a presentation on data communication and networking that I want to go through. That's the presentation that we should have done last week. We're 1 week behind. Because I want you to understand when you're putting this content out there, what it will take for it to get to your target audience. How does data travel across a network? And what's basically involved in that. All right, so I'm about to, there are two presentations that you would have gotten. There's one on data communication and networking. And there's also another one on computer networks. Lesson 3, I think it has marked on it. And when you open it, it will say computer networks unit 3 on it. And in it deals with routing, information routing. Okay? So I'm going to do the communication presentation first. And then I will deal with I will zero in on the concept of routing. Here's how I'm going to do it. I'm going to present the data communication lecture. I'm going to present to you now. But the routing lecture that is here, I'm gonna embed it in an activity similar to what you did last week, okay? That you're gonna do. So you're gonna work across with your peers, and then you're gonna do a presentation. All right. So let me just deal with the communication one. All right. So when you hear of data communication, what comes to mind? What am I about to talk about when I talk about data communication? Share content. Can you please? Please tell me if you are able to see the content in Dominica and St. Lucia.
Excuse me?
I'm sharing the content, so you should be able to see my presentation. Are you seeing it?
No, we're not.
No, I'm not.
Do you have access to that presentation? Do you have it on your laptops?
Oh yeah. Yes, we're following from.
Oh, you're on the laptop. All right, so don't share. You shared it? Go back to video. Right. All right, good. So data communication is basically straightforward. It is about sharing information between persons. And therefore, there are two ways to share information, right? So you either share information face-to-face, or you share it over distance or remote. So you have remote sharing and you have direct face-to-face sharing. So in this context, data communication involves the exchange of data between two devices via some form of transmission medium, such as a wire or a cable, which you just spoke about. So when you're on the wireless network, you're still sharing data, right? So when you access the internet over the wireless, it is data that you're accessing. That's what it is. So for data communication to occur, the communication device must be part of a communication system, which is made up of a combination of hardware, that's the physical equipment, and software, which would be the programs. All right. For it to be the effectiveness of it depends on delivery, accuracy, timelines, and jitter. What's jitter? Anybody knows? What's jitter? What's jitter, Richard? I know you're leaving. Oswald, what's jitter?
Don't know that one.
Courtney?
I think pretty much that, but I'm assuming it has to do with, for want of a better expression, how things work out.
So stable,
yes, whether it is going out to work or it's working out.
What about, I heard you saying something.
Yes, I just did a quick search.
Yes,
I've never heard it before. It says in voice over IP, jitter is a variation in the time between packets arriving caused by network congestion, timing drift, or route changes.
Right.
So I guess that means you're, in real terms, you're having some sort of communication. Jitter is can be a delay.
Any delay that can happen as a result of technical or other reasons. So I don't know if you understand well, we're gonna do routing later on. So what happens is, going back to the old notion of networks, let me explain this now. So let us say you are sitting at a desktop and you're typing a letter, and you want that letter to be sent to me, right? But you want it to be sent to my desktop, right? In order for it to get to my desktop, you have to identify some address that is going to be linked to me. So you need my email address, right? You also need to have a service through which you send it, right? So you need to have some kind of email address that belongs to you, that identifies you as a sender, and you put my email address in because you want to identify me as a recipient. All right. Outside of that, it is out of our hands. Once you click send, it begins its journey through the network. So you would imagine that you would think that your letter would be going as is, right? In one piece, but that does not happen. The data, every letter, every word, every character, it's broken up into packets because the computer cannot transmit it as one whole. It has to break it up into what we call packets. And then the packets have to travel along a channel, which is a network, depending on the protocol that you're using and so on. And then, well, let me not use protocol yet because that's important. I'm going to bring that up later on. So the packets travel in small chunks, right? And then they get reassembled when they reach their destination. Let us say the packet, one chunk got misplaced. It means that when the message arrives at the destination, it will not be able. The computer will not be able to assemble it, right? Because something got misplaced. It could be misplaced because of the protocol, difference in protocol. So if you don't have the same protocol, it's hard to communicate over the network. You have to have similar protocol and so on. So, you know, let me say the best example of that. You know, sometimes, well, I don't know, that doesn't happen to me anymore, but I know in earlier days, it still happened. I would create a file in Excel and then I try to open it in Word and then it comes up with these errors, right? This looks like hieroglyphics more than anything else. Similar thing happened. So in order for the packets, so jitter, if a part of the packet got separated during transmission, that would be classified as jitter, right? And until you're able to locate the packet and the assembly cannot happen, so the message won't get delivered. So you notice that sometimes you send a message and you get this error message coming back, right? And it varies. Sometimes the error will come back because for some reason the server that it went to, there's a time delay and it's unable to deliver it at this time, and it will tell you. So you get various error messages coming back depending on what it has happened with the transmission, the communication process. So that's the easiest way to explain it. It's not an advanced class in any way, so I'm going to leave it there. All right, so effectiveness based on delivery. That's just to pinpoint some key concepts. So remember that we said that the communication effectiveness is dependent on 4 things, and we're going to deal with delivery. The system must deliver data to the correct destination, right? In order for it to be considered effective. Data must be received by the intended device or user, and only by the device or user. So anywhere else that it goes, that's a problem. Alright, so delivery is not possible. Accuracy is another concept. So accuracy speaks to the system must deliver the data accurately, as data that have been altered in transmission and left inaccurate are unusable. So that's why you will see the hieroglyphics type of things coming up, because it can't be used because it has been altered, right? So accuracy of transmission is important. The next thing is timelessness. The system must deliver data in a timely manner. Data delivered late are useless. In the case of video and audio, timely delivery means delivering data as they are produced in the same order that they are produced and without significant delay. This kind of delivery is called real-time transmission. Where do we have, give me an example of real-time transmission in the educational landscape. What would be considered real-time delivery of data? Like video data, audio data. Any examples? Did I lose Dana and Jessica? Jessica? Dana?
Hi.
Can you give me an example of real-time delivery in your teaching learning experience? What would the delivery of, we're looking at timelessness of delivery of data. Can you give me an example of this kind of transmission?
An example would be at the teacher's computer, and you're sending files that you'll be using to the class, to the students. You're sending the files via the network, and the students receive those files almost immediately.
Yes, that's one example. And what if you are bringing in a presenter via Skype over the network, right? The ability of the person to Skype in, or to Google Chat, or to, those things are based on timeliness, so the network needs to be timely. So if you have a network that has bandwidth issues, you're going to have problems. You're going to find that the video is going to fade, the video is going to freeze, you're not going to have connectivity all the time, all of that is going to impact data communication. So good input, thank you. So real-time transmission is important when you're doing things synchronously. So you want the thing to be almost in real time. So let us say right now we're experiencing real-time transmission because I can see my students in St. Lucia, I can see my students in Dominica, and there's no delay. There's no delay, no noticeable delay in the transmission of the video data, and they can see me. Alright?
Teleconferencing the same thing?
Yes, that's why I use that example. Teleconference would be a form of, it is data that you're transmitting through the teleconference. Alright, so let us look at the 5 components of a data communication system. The first component will be the message. Then there's the sender, the receiver, the transmission medium, and the protocol. As I said, I will mention protocol later on because it is a key concept to understand as we're dealing with networks. Alright, I'll fix this later on. Alright, the message. So the information or data to be communicated, such as text, numbers, pictures, audios, or video. That's the message. The sender, that's the device that sends the data or message, such as the workstation, the telephone handset, or the video camera that you use to transmit the data. The receiver is the device that receives the message, such as a station, telephone, or handset. And the transmission medium, that would be the physical path by which a message travels from the sender to receiver, such as twisted pair wire, which we just dealt with, coaxial cable, fiber optic, or radar wave. I want you to understand that you are using these medium to send the information. You are not the sender in this context, right? The sender is the machine that is sitting at and preparing the message for transmission. You really, apart from adding the message or the content of the message, you have nothing to do with the transmission. You have to rely on a network to transmit this message accurately. With timeliness, right? And to assure delivery. Protocol. This is an important concept to note because if you don't understand the notion of protocols, you will not understand how networks work. And there are different protocols across networks, all right, which we will look at next week. So as these are a set of rules that govern data communication. That's the agreement between the communicating devices. So if I am on a Unix system, I may not be able to communicate with a Windows system, right? May not, depending on what I'm trying to do, right? So you have to TCP/IP and all those protocols we'll look at next week, and you'll see how they relate and what are their limitations and so on. Telnet and others. Data representation is, so data can be represented in terms of text, Numbers, images, audio, or video. Those are all data. Alright, so a network is a network, therefore, is a set of devices referred to as nodes that are connected by communication links. So you see what I've done now? I've just added another notion of a network. So expanding the definition. So before we said it were devices, nodes that were sharing resources, right? But I'm adding to that definition that it's a set of devices referred to as nodes that are connected by communication links. And you know the purpose for which they are connected, right? To share resources. A node can be a computer, printer, or any other device capable of sending or receiving data generated by other nodes on the network. Alright, so please take note of these. The reason why I'm doing these theoretical lessons is because these are the things that will come on your exam. These are the things you need to understand in order to do well in the exam. And can I just share with you my experience over the years? Students tend to do very well in coursework in this particular course. Very well. Because you're very good at doing both science and teaching and doing, they tend to fail the exam. In the case of the MAT program, which most of you are a part of, you have to pass each component to pass the course. It means that it is crucial for you to pass the examination. So don't wait until the date of the exam to study, because it's a tough one. It's in no way an easy examination. Never is. Okay? Normally has 100 questions, and the value of the overall grade, the value of that exam to your total grade is 40%. It means that you have to get a minimum 20 out of 40 to pass. It is not easy. So please begin to, that's why I'm insisting that you get the content early. And just to say to you that your textbook, the textbook that I reference a number of textbooks, but this is the main one, Bruce Hallberg, Networking a Beginner's Guide, and it is in your course outline. I would suggest that my lectures are lectures. They're just overview of what you should be reading. You really should be going to your text and reading on your own. Alright? And coming to me with questions that you may need, things that you want clarified. So please, I'm asking you, the book, it's in the bookshop at Mona, and it can be accessed online from Amazon. Alright? You may be able to get a used one that's not so expensive, right? Yes.
Are you saying going through your lecture notes is not enough to pass the exam?
It's not, because my lectures are what they are, lectures, and they're explaining the content as you would have read it here, right? And it's, you notice that I insist, there are even some readings from this book that I have online and other sources. When I write my papers, the exam, I write it from the text. That's where I write it from, okay? You know that, Andrew, right? You know me better, you know, after having had me once, you know that, right? I'm going from the text. So my explanations are just to be used as a guide to your own reading. Especially for the master students, you have to read for your degree.
You'll elaborate on the format.
Huh?
You'll elaborate on the format of the exam.
Yes, and I will even give you a mock test. Don't worry.
Okay.
So distributed processing is a concept that you need to also understand with respect to networks and how this affects the integrity of a network. So most networks use distributed processing. Those tasks are divided among multiple computers. Just I started talking about that, right? About the print server different from the admin server and all of that. And the redundancies that they provide. Instead of one single large machine being responsible for all aspects of a process, separate computers handle subsets. Like the print server is a good example of that. So when you're setting up your school LAN, or when you convince your administrators that you need a school LAN, you need to know what to ask for. You need to have some kind of sense of what the architecture of this LAN should be like, so that you are able to maximize the power of a network, having a network in your school. Alright? So computers that are within a classroom should not be operating as standalone. They should be able to still share the resources that are made available through the server in the school, right? You really should be able to access the resources wherever you are in a school. And so the concept of distributed processing should also apply in this context of schools. Types of connections, point to point, you'll read about that in your reading, that there are different types of connections that you're able to make. You can make point to point connections which provide a dedicated link between two devices. So let us say you don't have this is not as pertinent anymore because we are getting a little bit more sophisticated in our schools. But previously when I taught this course, we had many instances where there were standalone machines in schools. And so the concept of point-to-point was important because if you needed to share resources between machines, you could create a crossover cable and connect the two machines and share. Or where infrared or Bluetooth is available, you can also do that. Multi-point though concept is where we're at and where we continue to grow. Also called multi-drop is one in which more than two specific devices share a single link. Right? That's a multi-drop connection. This is going into topology, which we did earlier, but I'm going to revise because when we did topology, some of the students were not here yet, right? So I'm going to go over them again, and I know this is redundant to some students, but bear with me. Okay, Sashana? Huh? I noticed you haven't spoken, that's why I pick on you this time. Alright, there's actually, so the network topology we revised, we did mesh. Can we have someone explain what mesh was again? Holdsworth, I remember you had a beautiful explanation of the mesh topology. Can you help us here? I'm going to ask Richard to deal with star. And you notice I'm asking the persons who were present from January, right? Because we did this already. Bus and dream. Bus you're dealing with. Ring, I'm giving that to Kerry, and hybrid belongs to Sashana. Let's go. Can you explain to your peers what these things mean? Look at them searching for the notes.
Mister, could I give me anything else up there about hybrid? I could just answer. Why?
In the meantime, I'm asking the SVUS MAT students, you can go to your notes and the presentation on topology, it's there. Okay, so you can do your revision. And please ensure that you have 2 questions, at least 2 that you'll ask each student as they present. By the way, you need to be able to sum it up in about 4 sentences, no more than 4. Alright? Your presentation, no more than 4 sentences.
This one right here? Yes.
Yeah, you were assigned star, right?
Switch?
No.
Ready? Oswald, you don't need no time. Let's go.
That's not one of the ones that we talk about.
But you did describe it though.
This?
Yes, you did.
That was years back.
You described the mesh topology. You did. Or you didn't realize what you were describing.
I'm not sure. I just wanted to refresh.
Courtney, you can check your notes or you can. Are you checking on the information, Dana, Jessica, and Roslyn?
Yes, we are.
Okay, great. Huh? You need someone to log in. Alright, let me find someone. Ready? Alright, go Richard.
Alright, start topology is where everything
Remember that not all the students are sitting in this room, you have to speak. Right, ready?
Ready? Okay, the start topology is where all nodes within the network are connected to a central node or central networking device. So all the information travels to one central point before it can get anywhere else. So when I think the original star network in the center was an actual computer, but I think now a star actually a network device in the center, like a hub or a switch.
Right, like a hub or a switch usually is the control.
Yeah.
Because it's sharing the resources within that hub or a switch.
Yes.
To the other computers.
Yeah.
Right.
Everything has to pass through it.
Any questions for Richard? Two, I need two.
What happens if one of the devices one of the nodes, on the...
Okay, the most important device within the star is the central node. So if anything outside the central node is down, it doesn't affect the network. But if the central one is down, the network is dead.
Okay. One more question for Richard.
Is there an application that it lends itself to most? Is there a situation?
No, it's just a type of network, and each network has its benefits depending on what you want to deploy. So I would say for a star, then it's more about, I guess it's one of the, in my opinion, the better networks for sharing information from a central point.
Okay. All right. So next person, doesn't matter who. You can get it over with, Carrie.
In a ring network, all the computers are connected to one another in a circle.
Hold on. Can I have the lapel mic? Because her voice is a little soft. Battery is good, eh?
Mike.
Okay, in the ring topology, all the networks are all the computers are connected to one another in a circle.
All right, stop a minute. Are you hearing Carrie?
No.
Rosalind? Jessica? Dana?
No, I have not been hearing anything clearly.
You've been what?
I have not been hearing much.
Oh, okay. Carrie, you have to speak up. Let her. I'm gonna let her speak again, and you tell me, Rosalind, if you're hearing anything at all.
Okay. In a ring topology, all of the computers are connected to one another in a circle.
Rosalind, did you hear that?
No, it's breaking up and making some funny sound. I'm not hearing clearly at all.
Can you ask your technician to help?
I'll do that.
Huh? Did you hear Dana and Jessica? You heard what Carrie said?
Yes, hearing.
Do you have any questions for her?
Right, one more point.
All right, one more point. Go ahead, Carrie.
So in the ring topology, the data passes from one computer to the next one, then all the way around until it reaches its destination.
All right, questions for Carrie? Please, I need at least one from St. Lucia. At least one of the two questions. Are you there?
Does that data travel just in one direction?
Yes.
So what would happen if
I'll take the mic because I don't think they.
what would happen if one of the device fail in a ring network?
And the network wouldn't work.
Alright, so if one device fails, and then Carrie is saying the network wouldn't work. Explain why, Carrie.
Because they're connected to one another, miss.
Connection is disrupted.
And the data flow is disrupted.
Okay, the data flow will be disrupted. Okay, let's have the person who is doing the bus.
The bus is the simplest. Alright, the bus is the simplest type of network topology. In a bus topology, computers are lying on the network in a straight line. Two advantages is that it costs less and it is easy to set up. And the two disadvantages are that efficiency of bus network reduces as the number of devices connected to it increases, and it is difficult to detect faults.
Okay, faults. Okay, so that's a disadvantage.
Disadvantage.
All right. So any questions for she? She already tell us the disadvantage and the advantages. But any questions? Further questions?
How different is the bus from the ring in terms of data transmission?
As I had said, the data travel in a bus in a straight line, and in the ring, they are connected in a circle. The computers are connected in a circle.
And just to have problem with the ring, as observed that if one fail, then the network is down. That the data is flowing just in that path. The data is just traveling in one path, in one direction only, and that is the reason why if one is disrupted, the network will be down. So you can't have any. So first and foremost, you can't have any data collision.
Right.
Whereas in the bus, based on the arrangement of the computer, data is traveling all over in different directions. Alright, so really, as he said, the difference is just that with this ring, it's traveling in one direction. With the bus, it's taking different paths, multiple.
Okay. Hybrid. Who has hybrid?
Alright, the mesh.
Mesh, you ready for mesh?
What I discover, as the name says, mesh, right? So if you can picture what a mesh really looks like, so it would mean that the connections of the computers, there are so many paths, and even it goes to the extent that if a path is disrupt, it will find a different path. The data will find somewhere else to travel, because there are so many connectivity points all over the network.
Oh, that's Dominica. Answer for me? Did you answer?
Yes, ma'am.
Good. So you're back, Roslyn? Is it Western Campus? Western Campus is there now? Okay, good. All right. Any two questions for Halsworth? That's Western Campus coming in. Western Campus? Dexter, are you there? Okay. Questions for Halsworth? Any questions?
What is the difference between the mesh topology and the hybrid?
Good student. Pressure teacher, okay.
Well, probably with the mesh, all computers really are connected.
Are we have that?
Someone needs to
Okay.
Yes, I'm saying that as observed with the net and the connectivity points is that basically all the computers are really connected to each other directly and indirectly. Whereas with the hybrid, it's basically a combination of the three main topology. So you have some aspect of the ring that would form it, some aspect of the star, and some aspect of the bus.
Right, so it is really the most advanced of all the networks.
Yeah.
It is.
Okay. Hybrid.
Hybrid topology is an integration of two or more different topologies to form a result topology, which has many advantages and disadvantages. Advantages, hybrid topology is more reliable, it's scalable and flexible. Disadvantage is that it is costly, both to get the hub and the infrastructure, and it is complex to design.
Okay. All right. Questions for Sashana on hybrid topology?
Thank you.
So since the hybrid is the most resilient of all networks, you mentioned it as one of the disadvantages already. So in terms of how do you troubleshoot faults within that network? If there's a problem in the hybrid network, unlike the ring where it's just one main thing on the bus, they can easily, how easy it is to troubleshoot a fault if there's a failure in one of the nodes?
Well, it would depend on which part of the hybrid the fault is at, because if it's in the ring side, then one would assume that that side will stop, or the flow of the data would go in the opposite direction until it reached like probably the computer that's not working, and then there will be no transfer of information there. Whereas if it's in the star side, if one computer is having a problem, then the others will still have data flowing.
Okay, good. I think that was the last one. Alright, so the second presentation, I'm gonna leave you to work with your peers where you have a peer.
What's the name of that one?
It's called Computer Networks, lesson 3. And this time I'm gonna put an upload. Whoa,
Which phone was it in the week?
It's in week
February 17th to 23.
Yeah, it's in that week.
Computer Networks Unit 3.
And there's also another reading on network troubleshooting and scenarios and tips that you need to go through and discuss with your peers, okay? And when we come next week, I will ask you to do a similar reporting on what you understand from it. This brings us also, there's a glossary of terms that I think you should pay some attention to, because these terms tend to find their way on your examination paper. Somehow they're always there. So become familiar with what they mean and what they are, okay? They just find their way there all the time, and they're just not going away, okay? Alrighty.
Oh, no.
Alright, so today, Craig, do we have FileZilla access? We're going to try until we book, right?
Breathing minutes.
What is breathing, you know? Alright, so we're going to turn to the practical class. So, Kevin, I need your help. So what have you done so far? I left you to work last week. I need a report on how far you got with your downloading and account setting up and so on. Yes.
I have a problem. I think it was communicated last week that, well, originally it said that we should start using the WebOS, 00 WebOS. So that's the one that I set up my account on.
Alright.
But I gathered from last class that...
Now the PHP is outdated, so it can't take the new files, yes.
Right, so should we downgrade to the 1.1?
If you want something with 00 WebOS, I'm gonna have to provide you. You're gonna have to use 1.15, right? Yes. 1.159 or something like that.
Didn't mind go through the completion.
If you want to use the most latest Moodle, you have to get free hosting.
Free hosting is no longer.
Log into which one?
It's no longer
Which one I should log in?
It's sending us to this other hosting site. And hosting.
Yeah, and that's not
FileZilla?
it's
But the
like
FileZilla.
really?
And
Yes,
Spanish too.
Yes, in Spanish.
So we have, that's why I went.
Like it's not working for them.
It's not working for them.
for
Did you try it at home?
yes. Well, home is campus. What's his name? What Valentine was saying to me is that it's not just to sign up for it, it's not working. Those who have files on it already can't access it either.
Alright, what about you guys in St. Lucia? Are you having that problem in Dominica?
Yes, Miss, I'm having a problem. Actually, all my files are not being uploaded. Yes,
All your files what?
they are not being uploaded. Only just, I think I sent you a message. Let me just
Yes.
get that.
I saw your message. But why are you
Yeah.
uploading? We're not there yet.
Well, actually, I was just trying to say what's in the message.
No, but what I'm saying to you is you went ahead. You have to prepare the site for upload, so that's what you missed.
Yes, I prepared everything. I downloaded the FileZilla and I did everything. I was just trying to upload my Moodle, the Moodle document.
All right, I'm not concerned about you and Roslyn. It means that you've gone ahead. And there are some little tricks that I have to teach, right? So
Okay.
you are fine. Just wait, okay?
Okay.
So just use the information.
Yeah.
Shall the information?
No, I am.
Alright, the username which is this.
I'm going to use lower uploading the files to FileZilla, but
No, but why are you uploading and you didn't prepare the site yet?
It's right on that one. Are we supposed to put the Moodle files onto FileZilla?
No, you have to download them and wait for my instructions.
But you sent us a document.
I mean, yeah, I gave you access to the document.
Last week we said we should.
I said you should download FileZilla, download Moodle, and set up an account in a free host.
Alright, Miss Bell,
That's where you're supposed to be.
FTP
But,
teacher.
Yeah.
being that some of us have gone ahead and upload or whatever it is that we're doing, is it that we have to we're gonna have to stop?
No, you're gonna have to clean it again. Because if you're stuck, it means that you didn't do some of it.
No, I'm not stuck, but I'm using Moodle 2.83 to 00 host.
Well, that's not gonna work.
You're going to have to clean it.
You have to clean
I
it.
tried it time. It works.
I am going to take a one.
It brings up, I think, carries on the file to about 7,000 something.
Can you ask me where's mine? Alright, so
Yeah,
I'm
you
gonna,
did,
I'm
but
gonna take,
because
give you
it started
a 5
uploading
minutes
after
break
the
at this time. 5 minutes.
but other laptops.
5 minutes break and then I will be back. It is important for me to share content
You understand? So you're
on this blur screen. Because I'm gonna have to go to share my screen so you all are able to follow, alright?
So these are the
No.
So which one files are you?
So it's fine to use the lower.
So, miss,
The Don't use it all, right?
Tani, why you hide?
And then,
The latest version.
so basically, we are trying to see if anything is go on here. We're not gonna say override. Apply.
No, yeah,
Always use action. You understand? So if you did it already, skip it.
why I don't want to do it?
By the way,
Just so that if you didn't miss anything,
so everything we're doing today will leave us in a place where we can do this assignment that is due next week.
Remember that this is the assignment that you're trying to come up with.
Yeah, no, I just want to make sure.
Yeah, it should be there.
Sir,
All right then.
is it okay for me after all of them? Convert 2.8 to 1.2.
Why have just deleted it and just upload anymore? But I said she wants us to do that, so now no man, that's delete. It's just another delete.
That's not least one time we will
Wait till the morning when everybody is on this.
oh, put a test if you did it, show it where it's at.
Courtney, hold on.
Courtney, hold on. That's hold on. You look at the asking her also. Hold on, hold on. Hold it further down, right? Hold on. Hang on. What is that? No, that's happening. He sent me a message to say that you're literally walking around. Hold up, doesn't have as many signs. So that was trying to find out.
Videos I'm more frustrated with running on the sites. You have to go log on to your host. Well, first, just kill the upload that is going on. No, kill it. Just log out of it. Close it and log it automatically. But then you have to go onto the site and go into the file and delete the file.
To upload?
Where?
See, sometimes you can hear the connection go.
And then we're going to
As I was saying, I'm trying to figure out for the folder.
it is set up.
That's what I'm saying. I was calling it. That's what
That's it. That's it. Yeah. uploading. Say not uploading.
It's open.
Very public.
Yeah.
This is for
Or can I just go
yeah, you could do that.
Everybody here has a 00 with post account already.
Everybody have to ask the
Yes.
outside.
Everybody have a 00 Webos account. Do you have one, Jessica, Dana, and Roslyn? Do you have an account?
Yes, we do have an account, with a free web host account.
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to ask you to just sign into that account.
It's all so amazing.
So have you gone into to begin to set up your have you followed the instructions to prepare the site? No, you haven't, right? So that's what I'm going to take you through now. Huh? I'm gonna put it up, but I'm not gonna the technical difficulty.
So should I stop what I'm doing and
What do you mean stop what you're doing?
the files are being uploaded? Or is there a way to go around it?
You're uploading files now?
It's fun.
Yes, miss, please come.
It's in here. Recognize messenger.
You are not disrespecting.
No, I'm not disrespecting. You have to understand that it's me. Oh, no, absolutely not.
Anything. Why will be abused? This is so funny. So funny. I understand completely. Stress. Stress.
It's like the entire weekend I was on this thing.
Oh my gosh.
Every time I have to log into this, you have to do
Yeah, because it's when I have 14 businesses,
In a session, you have to write it.
Okay, it's building my site, so I'm gonna ask one of you to log in, to come up here and log in while it's building mine, and so that I can teach the lesson from here. Can you? I'll have to share content. Dana, Jessica, Dexton, and Roslyn. I'm just checking. What's the status? Did you just set up the account and you didn't do anything else, correct?
Yes, we just set up the account.
Great, that's
Well,
what
I went
Roslyn, speak.
This is Dana.
Dana, what were you saying?
I went further and I downloaded the Moodle and I started the process of
You started to get your web host ready?
I downloaded the FileZilla.
Yeah. Alright, so today what we're gonna do is I'm gonna teach you how to get web host ready.
Yes.
Yes.
They keep asking if we download Moodle, but everybody has Moodle 2.83.
That's okay, we're not there yet. That's not critical yet. Okay? Not critical yet. Courtney, you said you had a 00 remote site. Alright, so can you come and log in for me?
Change and pass. I come in.
Alright, Andrea. Come and log in up here.
You are so special. So special.
Ask them if they're seeing content.
They're still. Are you seeing the content? Dana?
Are you seeing the screen?
Can you see the screen?
Yes, we are. Yes, we are.
Great. Alright. That Roslyn answered as well?
Yes, I'm seeing the screen. I'm just doing a little refresh on my computer.
Alright.
Yes.
Alright.
No, I'm not. I need to create something, you know. I get a feeling close to it. What of course?
No, man, the grade probably not in entered.
Failing coursework.
That's what this says. For the course, I say I get a 4, I feel close to it. That's what it is. So I wanted to query which part of the coursework I feel.
I'll check.
Yeah, check.
1 second. So then I enter the thing, man.
Okay, good. So you're there. Good. Alrighty, so I'm gonna ask you to bring up your page, log in and ensure that you're on your members page. Your page should look like the one that is on display now. Are you there?
Click on C panel to get the rightness.
Yes. Okay, on the C panel, you should be in the C panel. You have a number of areas. The first area is email, then you have useful stuff, then you have files, and then the next bar you have software services, then you have advanced, and you have account tools. Okay? So the first thing you're going to do is you are going to set up, what should I do? Let us set up your MySQL account. Yeah, because there's a database that you need to deposit in MySQL, and you have to set up to receive that database. So you're going to click on MySQL, and you'll see a menu coming up. Are you on MySQL?
Yes.
So what I want you to do is you need to name your database, and it doesn't matter what you name it. You're gonna name your database. I'm going to call this database tech.
This what if you named one already?
You did already?
No, I said what if. You just click on
Then
it.
you just leave it. Yeah, don't do it again. And then you're going to put in your username. Whatever your username is, that's what you're going to add here. I'm using the same thing. And then you're going to use the standard. Whatever the password that you have been using to log into your system, I would suggest that every time you need a password, you use the same one, right?
The same one, yeah.
And then when you're done, you click create database. Now to make sure that the database was created, you're going to go back to MySQL, and on the bottom you should see the information that you added. So my MySQL database is here, the name, user is there, and it shows me my host, okay? This information you need to record because you're going to need it again. Alright, you need to record it because you're going to need it again. Okay? So that's the first step. Everybody following? Dana, did you do that? Jessica?
Yes, we're there.
Dana, Jessica, Roslyn?
Yes.
Are you there?
Yes, we're here.
Yes,
Did you
we're
do
here.
that?
Not completely, but I'm getting
Alright,
there.
so just let me know when you're ready to move on. I'll leave my screen out.
You just press create.
Yes.
Let's read. When it does it, you want to go back to MySQL?
Yes. So check to see it, make sure. If it wasn't created, you won't see anything on the bottom, but if it was, you'll see something.
When you set them up, when you pass them on the wire,
Please indicate when you're ready for me. Campus, St. Lucia Campus, Dominica, are you ready?
St. Lucia, we're ready.
Okay, Dominica?
Yeah, you can go ahead.
Okay, Western Campus is there? Okay.
I am not quite ready as yet.
You're not ready yet? Okay.
Not quite.
Are you able to see the screen that's on?
Yes, I am.
Great. All right, we're waiting for you. Let us know when you're ready.
Okay.
What are you doing though? What's keeping you back?
Okay. I set up the account. I believe I had, but I wasn't seeing all the elements on my screen as was you seeing on your screen.
Did you log in? You log in and you clicked on C panel?
Yes, I click on C panel.
Yes, C
Oh.
panel.
Oh.
Alright, that's the
In the
missing
next
thing.
in the next 2 minutes, you can go ahead. In another 2 minutes.
Alright, I'll wait for you. Just let me know when you're ready. We'll wait.
Okay.
It's one of the simplest ones. No, that's one of
Doc? Yeah? Dexter, I'm gonna go ahead in the interest
Go
of
ahead.
time.
Go ahead.
Right, and then-
I'm there. I'm there.
Okay, good. Alright, so what you're gonna do is you're gonna go back now to click on the bottom where the MySQL icon is, you know, beside my cursor there. You're gonna click go back. And then it will take you back to the main panel. Alright, so the next step you're gonna take is you're gonna go to where it says files, and then you're going to click on file manager.
There.
Oh my god!
Assistants. Assistants. Probably need assistants just in case.
Not the same thing.
Alright, I'm there. Let's go back.
Let me just try again.
I can use the FileZilla here, right? At this point.
No, not yet. You don't need files until next week, actually.
But you can log in and just check it.
Yeah, man, yeah. Okay.
Now, this is something that you have to understand about network administration. What's the structure of the hosting area? You look in here and you notice that it is now at the root directory. And the root directory has in it 3 files. There's one called public HTML. That's where all the folders, everything that you'll upload will be uploaded. You're not there yet.
You got that error thing that you got, but I'm not sure how to get it.
Let's go back and
Let's go back.
We tried that.
Content.
Yeah, it's
So you're going to File Manager.
I don't know, you take it and go to the Courtney and borrow my pen. Courtney borrowing my pen for a long time. You want it outside? That's all right. I'm a black one, I just wanted to know.
When I open file, I say my home file, same thing as
Your pen stopped working. I rushed to get him. How's the little princess? Any pearls of wisdom this week?
Once you learn how to do fear, I'm going to send them back. That fear them back.
Let that empty out first. Maybe I see file, but open area.
I got me no one that if I send one them that way, we did the already. I'm no one send them back.
I don't think. I would try to this area down. Now go work there every day at that. Now go work.
So when we left, so we left what we need them. I'll king out clean it. And we left what we need them thing here. So we don't know exactly what happened. What was the original? Something was the original. That one look like somebody.
And they probably send it back to file. So they probably could send it back to file.
He's 3 going on 38. So his sister, who is a year and change, that was leaving last week.
What you also want?
They got nebulized on, you know, and I said, so when Russell sees Megan, it's more than what she said, oh yes, he's on the phone, he goes, Mommy, I have to nebulize Megan again. I said, wait, big word. She said, it's big, and it was, Megan, you can see me nebulize with the friends, and he said, stop, please stop talking. It's too much. And then they come up on the phone, and where's Uncle Dave? Where's Uncle Dave? Uncle Dave like to show children in the period and all that like this.
Okay. I must use this opportunity. You notice how small the screen is? If I had a shareware up here, I could share the screen and you could see exactly what I'm seeing here. You understand?
Yes.
So we really need to, we're going to deal with that later on though, because we're going to look at some shareware. So the public folder is really where we want to make sure that we're operating from. So the first thing you want to do is you're going to set the permission on the public folder. How do you do that? If you click the public folder,
Public HTML.
yeah, public HTML, just click next to it. You got an error?
I click it and it disappears.
Open it. Go back to root. That means you move from public to root.
Which one is the root? Just click the folder.
Dana, let me know if you're there. Jessica, Roslyn, are you able? Dexton. Click on your public folder without going change into root. Just click the arrow in the box next to it.
Look here.
Just check box, yeah. And then, yes. I don't know why you got an error. Why you don't use the machine in the room? Your laptop's slower than the machine. Yes, it is. It's wireless, you're using nothing.
No, she's using the land, but it's still
Still slow, it must be slow. Alright, so basically what you're doing is you're going to modify the permissions. And there's an icon for that called CH mod. And it is the extreme right icon, and you're going to click on it, CH mod. CHMOD. Now, that gives you access to the permission. And what you're doing is, you're seeking permission to do whatever you want within this folder. So with the permission that it has now, there are some limitations. So it's limiting you from writing to group. It's limiting you from everyone writing or reading or executing. But you want to set it where you can do just about anything you want. So you want to change the permission setting to 777. How do you do that? You check off all these boxes and the permissions will change. So now the permission now reads 777, okay? Okay, so the next thing that you're going to do is you're going to now use the arrow to make this permanent, to make the permission settings permanent. So the blue arrow to the right next to the green check mark, you're going to click that arrow and it will go over and make the permission settings. Change the permission settings. So if you notice the difference now, when you look at the folder under where it says permission, you should see all the X's checked out. If it's not checked out, it means it wasn't done. Alright? You should see read, write, read, write, read, write, read, write, read, write. All RW, right through. Like for mine, I know I have to go back and do it because it's not there. Yeah. Okay, so click the green arrow check mark to get the 77 in place, and then the blue arrow. I made a mistake. Right, so you notice the difference now? RWX, 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 RWX. That's what you should be seeing. So you know the permission settings. You've cleared all barriers to file upload. So if you went ahead and you were trying to upload, the reason why you couldn't upload is because you did not adjust the permission settings. So it will reject some files. But now that you've established that, it will receive them. Alright? The next step. The next step, what you're going to do is you're going to create a folder called Moodle folder. Moodle data, right? Moodle data. Within the publics. Alright, so the next thing, you're going to create a folder to receive your files. And that folder is going to be called Moodle data. But you have to place that folder within the public domain. Alright, the public's folder. So you're going to open the public folder. So you're going to the public folder level now. You're actually clicking on public HTML. Yeah, you're clicking on public HTML and you're going to the next level now. You should be in that folder.
So it should now say about HT access and we found HT access.
No, guess what? There's similar files in there. From before.
Oh no, this is whose?
Mine. I don't mind. Andrew.
Default.
No, Andrew uploaded some files.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to delete them, Andrew. So you should be doing this. Come sit down at your station if you get set on mine. You should be doing this and getting the experience, yeah. So Andrew, you're gonna have to delete these folders that you have because they are not what's supposed to be there. So just click the box and delete them. Just leave the default PHP. Just delete that folder alone, that's fine. Click on it and then you're gonna go to delete. So the delete right. Click the green right to get rid of it and then the next arrow. Arrow to move over back to the right. So you see it's gone now. So you probably should delete let everything else stay. Let me see what is in. Let me see if you need a hard access to it. Yeah, let everything else stay. Alright, so what you're gonna do, you're gonna create a directory that is called Moodle data. So click new directory. Are you with us, Dexton, Dana, Jessica, and Roslyn?
The case matters.
Yes, I'm there, but I'm having problems with my computer right now. I'm taking notes.
Tell me when you're able to catch up. So I'll leave you guys to do that now. You're gonna create the new directory called Moodle data. Did that?
One word, underscore, does it matter?
Upload some files from the new version, you know, so we have to take them out.
Well, you can go in and delete it like I'm just
It's imagine. Yeah.
It should be one word or?
Huh?
Then delete.
One word, Moodle data.
And the case doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
On the file. You're not
When did it start?
Yeah, man, that's all. So click on it.
It's done.
Moodle data, you put one word. You made Moodle data one word, does it matter?
Yeah, it must be
One word.
That's just the case.
And then green tick, blue arrow. Then green tick and blue arrow.
Okay, yeah, man, you can delete and hold it more than this is inside. So I'll just
But they're folder.
Oh, the folder, yes, but the folder, oh, you don't delete the folder.
No man, remember I said that when I folder person, then the folder itself.
Oh, so you know, put more files in that folder. So when you take out the files, then we'll take out
Then
the
it
folder.
deletes the folder itself.
Alright. So we should have one.
You can create it. No man, it's that easy or something. So you can just do it in here something.
You can read it and you just right click.
Right click. New folder. Create directory.
Create directory. Call it Moodle.
Besides on something, I would try it. Just keep it.
Just Moodle.
But you know, set the permission on that.
So it will do everything around the power.
Yeah. I remember you could have done this online as well. So if you come back, it's supposed to see.
I get.
No,
That's not my problem. No, no.
Oh.
That's right.
The Moodle data directory is 4096 size. Is that right?
Yes, the
I am not
downscale
seeing that.
version should be.
The downscale version.
Oh no, I thought you meant.
I don't reach here.
Yeah.
So after we make the folder, then what?
Alright, let's go back to that.
We go outside. Same issue. I see stones. To cut yourself in 7 different pieces. No. Even your error message about the login, that is the exact same one. I haven't seen it once.
Okay, Andrew. So, Dexter, how are you doing?
Great, I'm there.
Alright, good.
I created
Great. Dana and Jessica, how are you? Are you there? Dana and Jessica? We lost them? Dana, Jessica? What about Roslyn?
I'm there, miss. I'm there.
I think we lost St. Lucia. St. Lucia? Oh my. What would we call them back?
Yeah, we'll try.
They're calling. Or you calling them?
I just send the
Of course, what do you think would be the next step now? Change the permission on the day on the Moodle data folder, right? Yes. They're there, St. Lucia, you back?
It's already happened.
You did it already? No, she didn't. You didn't get total permission, she.
No, I didn't.
Right, so you need to do that now. CH mod. Right.
But it will work.
Click on CH mod and then.
Oh. Huh?
Why is
Will
it
it
that
work?
I can't do any of this? Because I'm now using the computer now to do everything.
Because inside I would delete,
Yeah.
I would try delete and delete them too.
It's in the bottom. Yeah, it's in the bottom. Think, put it, no, don't trap.
Okay, that's it.
Once it is in the bottom.
Is there a way to get ticks on everything without clicking everything?
No, man.
Just type in 777.
No, what means it?
But I don't need to change
The one that
I've said that the first
I
seven
just
for me.
been here supposed to
Isn't the
use.
first seven for me?
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, it says phone up, no other. Huh?
Yeah, but we can't remember you're going to have people on the side.
Now you get.
Right, all you have to do is read it.
Now you get.
Remember I just said, you know our Daley?
But then,
Our Daley
This
system.
been called the MySQL file Moodle data. No, so it's supposed to
Yes.
wrong thing you tell them.
But it can be no man, but it can be whatever, as long as they have the information there.
I don't know.
even like, you made one still, but the one that.
What minute,
look like he deleted that one.
no, man, so me delete the ring here, so.
Oh, you just drop it.
From out of the public. As for him, all of them there,
This one.
all of that they have to be moving.
Come on, so you know good.
Let me see what you have, in the public. What you have in the public? You have LIV.
You know, just
You
drop
have
it.
LIV, some check out LIV.
Hold on there.
From the files and access it.
See, yeah, everything done now.
Everything done.
Done delete.
You're not the.
But I'm sorry, I get errors regarding the file.
See there? So they basically blank.
Public
To the
folder.
public.
And then.
What means that I want it?
But the problem that I'm having is that the files, some of the files are too big. So that's why
I delete her file sometimes.
you
Understand?
files are
So they don't know. You have to see this. So you upload all the files.
And then I show them inside
And
there.
then when you click in here, so it will lead it to the setup. in the mood we have one set up. So it's just a means kind of show you, so it must look good. So when you upload all them file into this, then you know just click this one.
I have to download the older version.
Yeah. Just go back this side and download. Right, so this is all okay.
It's usually well.
I'm gonna stop the queue again. Where's the queue? I did not see it. Yes, I'll come to our neighbor. But the queue's still running. You push out there, but we don't see that. I know.
And then kill the file.
Right, yeah, I don't try. But delete. So delete. That's why we're getting the error because you have to process it running. Dana and Jessica? Sanusha is gone?
Dana, Jessica.
Ask Rosalind if she's fine.
Rosalind.
Yes, sir. I'm fine. I'm not really where you want it yet, but I'm there.
Alright.
Because it has been giving me some issues with the connection.
Okay. I hear
It's
you.
kind of right. But I'm there. I'm following.
Oh, okay. You're gonna modify it. The permission good. Open Moodle folder now. This one? I think now you're ready for the upload.
Right.
Now you can do the upload from FileZilla, right?
The lower version is a smaller file. It's a smaller file, so that will upload faster.
So the big one will work.
Try the big one and let's see what happens. Then if it doesn't work, then we'll go back to the small.
It won't.
I've tried it twice.
Come on, I've tried it. It won't work. So the PHP is
PHP is outdated as usual.
When it reached,
But I think I said 00 we're supposed to update and stuff by now. What is the PHP? I'm going to check it short.
So you save me upload.
And then the newer version said it need PHP. Must it 8 or something like that? Or
Which PHP it has?
I'm not sure. Well, I'm sure it doesn't work.
My problem was that
When last check?
Positive. Remember, I was setting up one for my other classes.
Yeah, so what me asking? Do I upload them in this mode here?
Yeah, in that mode.
So you can just log on and go and upload
Yeah, man. So when you go FileZilla and you go public, you upload this. Yeah, you open up the mode. You see all this.
Set the permission on the
I don't know why that's
my move on my external drive because we only left it.
Yeah.
So look here now, if me open the FileZilla and mine and I upload them in mine.
You want
web,
to know?
no man, say me can if me do it at home. When we come here to class next week, then we inside here.
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
Kind of funny.
Okay.
Doesn't matter where you do it from.
Maybe you can download it now.
We don't need to
Because the file is smaller.
Oh, no.
File about 6,000.
Okay.
6,000. I think 1.9 points.
What's your name, friend?
Don't know, it's Keval.
Keval?
Keval.
No
one like VOL.
Right. So which version is the version?
1.9 point something like that.
That will work.
The small version. That's what you had up to last year.
I'm going to do that because it's not going to
No, man, that is only 6,000.
Yeah, but that's where it
Oh, so if you type move, hold on. You just type move in or something. M-O-O-D-L. Museum.
So now you can go to FileZilla and begin your upload. But when you go to FileZilla, you're going to make sure that you're uploaded within the public folder. All right, you have to upload within the public folder.
And the folder that you
data folder, yeah.
No, the folder that you create must be within the public folder, because what's going to happen is throughout the upload process there are some files that it will put in that folder, and it will put files in the public, files in that, files in the public. So it knows which files should go where.
Oh,
yes.
I think that's on that.
Yeah.
I didn't have my
Right, in the public folder.
I'll try it with the big file again.
Yes.
I know if it fails, I'll just do one point. But I think it's going to fail.
All right. So Dana, you're still with us? I'm gone, right?
Yes, see there, I'm going to
All right, just tell them. Roslyn, are you there?
Yes, Professor. Yes, ma'am, I'm there.
Roslyn, you're still here.
Roslyn, remember, just let me just give you the final instructions. Now that you have you need to now use FileZilla, and you're going to upload your Moodle files to the public folder.
Yes.
And then it should work. And then that's where we're going to stop. Next week when you come, we will complete it. Okay?
Next week
That's all right. It's due to me, remember?
Yes. No, I'm kind of like...
It's due to me. That's okay.
So if we try the big one and it don't work, use the smaller one.
Yes.
But you're going to have to delete.
Roslyn, if you try the most current file and it doesn't work, you're going to have to go in and clean it. So I would suggest, if you want to be safe, use a smaller file. Alright?
One.
Smaller Moodle file, that's all.
Yeah.
Make sure that you check the PHP, which PHP Moodle is running. Let me check it now. You still log out already? Who is it? Yeah, let me see which version of PHP.
Okay, so which one? Where the type from?
Okay, so it won't work because it is running 5.2 and the other files need PHP 8, version 8.
So these are what?
So what you need to do is check the Moodle files and see which PHP it requires. Take the highest one that would require 5.2. Alright?
From here, so 1.9. Which one have you select here?
How do you check which version of
is the
Alright, I'll see you all next week.
Try one.
Yes,
Thank you. Bye, Roslyn.
Bye.
We'll be in communication.
Yes, alright.
Oh, which them straight in the public folder. The public folder. Oh, you're creating it already. Right. That's it. So this is what we're going to upload. You get what's going on? So within the public, you have a folder on Moodle. In Moodle data, that's not active directory. That's
You're not going to use that one in.
So basically, this is what's going on. Sign up. Oh, this is yours? Hold on, this is yours. Hold on. You know what? I was just make sure it was something. So basically, so this is showing you exactly what it is. Alright. So again,
So everything
We start downloading. I see files. So I start. You have to go on,
as you upload
like
all
online and
files
find
within the mode,
type in files, you know, portable.
as soon as
Oh, you have it
So many
right,
section. You got an email from Webos giving you an FTP. You don't download them. I download more one last.
Okay, let's just backtrack.
What? I would advise you start unless you plan to stay here until.
what was the sign? No
Not
one.
good.
Yeah, delete that one.
Okay. Download that moves.org. Stay
I'm
at
asking for
19.
it. Just from the side.
So you found it? Which one of them is?
Google.org, so the one you can Google it. 1.9 or 1.9?
Yeah, so you see that
There's 1.9, 1.9.4, 1.8, one this one. That
Which one?
so you see there's a line that says FTP. See there, FTP
And then one last one.
username
Stable 19.
and the password, and it gives you the URL. That line that speaks to FTP. Go up and so.
download that
Yeah, with HTTP.
Right.
Forward slash stable 19. With HTTPS.
Login. So that's the information.
What did I say? ST?
So you can see
Stable 19.
you support it, yeah, right?
Danny, you know what I want though? More than one in them upload.
If you have a portal, you put it on the folder. Yeah, see that SPNC, whatever.
I send an email address. Download that.
So we receive post right here.
HTTPS.
That's where we're going to put in the
download that
So you can
mode.org
either use the
/ stable
one
19.
for F.
/stable.
So you can either use the IP address.
Stable
No,
19.
not
Yeah.
post. Post is going to be
So stable 19 and a slash again.
Which one?
and
Which
username
one?
and password.
Anyone zip.
Anyone?
Yeah. Anyone zip.
Because you have one, you have 1.19, 1.19.
And say anyone.
Say either use the HTTP something or you use the IP address. It's easier to use the IP address.
Hello.
And the password. You remember your password? Yes.
Nelson.
And then you pick connect. So you can
Yeah. We're still there in 11.
no,
that's it.
you have to not the post must be
Which part you over there?
so on the file.
That's it. Yeah, last week I can't know which part that.
That IP address. Yeah.
You couldn't go out and find one we can't find the easy one. Eh? Huh?
Download the blue line.
Which one? You tell me, no, I don't know.
I just look inside anyone.
No.
There are many ones.
Look, he said Cabez anyone.
You don't know the road name, but
I just
all
took
that way still attend me.
1.91.
1.91. And that's is using.
Hold on, let me tell you. When we know we have an idea about what it does, when you come down at service,
Okay, so
when you come at
that's
service,
the one that you said.
you turn down by the road and go down at
That's
Campion.
download that it's
As soon as you have to have an idea, so down there, so much Huh?
What you can do is copy and paste it.
Because which part down there Ruby's then?
A minute, alright. Click. Okay.
I want to make a station, I want